Hello, this is the second video on the baseball stadium progress, and we are starting on top of the parking garage to the REoL shopping mall. This is where MC Scout got a view of what's going on, somewhere around here-ish. Now the reason why I'm aiming at an angle like this is I don't want you to see quite yet what we've got. However, that's coming pretty soon. In fact, soon enough that we'll jump up here and turn around and show you what we got thus far. Quite a bit since the last update. Working on the skeleton of the new baseball stadium. And I see I forgot a few things here and there, but that's okay. It's just a skeleton. So basically, the left and right field bleachers or grandstands will go almost all the way to the end of the field. And on all three corners, there will be a stairwell / elevator like that one. Anyway, you can also see the hills have been demolished quite a bit. And if we, well, I've been showing you this right now, so I'll show you we have an entry point somewhere along here. As you can see, we've also leveled out the hills on here. And the height of everything is based on the average flat terrain in the plains area, which was about 64 blocks. And if we hit the good old F3, you can see that my Y position is indeed at 64. So over here we have the quote-unquote elevator shafts, which have not got their ladders in, because really ultra cheap, dirty way of doing an elevator in a super small package is having a shaft. In elevators, it operates just like a real elevator. And we got these stairs that go up to the various levels of the ballpark. We'll tour those in a little bit. And then this would be the uppermost level. I'll show you that a little further. And this would be the luxury box level, which I will get to momentarily. There's no exterior as of yet because I am waiting for the 1.8 release. Some of the granite and other rock formation type blocks is going to be used for the exterior. I'm not going to spoil it for you what the exterior is going to look like, but it will reflect on the 20th anniversary of REoL Tough and the namesake and all the other stuff. Anyway, what I want to show you now is over here is we got the ball field. Now, it's not done, obviously, if you know what a baseball field looks like. As I know, some of you viewing in other countries may not exactly be familiar with baseball. Not to say that I could be blowing smoke. Anyway, if you look at this picture here, you can see there were a lot of big hills. Some as high as 12 blocks, and that's from the 64 height and up. Now, as you can see back here, we've pretty much flattened them all out, made the field. This is going to be the dimension. And I started work on the outer bleachers, which I'll show you right now. There's nothing to them really. It's just going to be a simple 7-level seating area. And this was all dreadfully off by 1 block. While the field dimensions are pretty much accurate, the height of the wall that will go in for the outfield, which will be these 2 blocks, plus another and a half block, which will be approximately how high a wall 390 feet out should be. This was all off by 1, so Yeah, it was fun taking this entire grandstand and raising everything up one block and demolishing everything else. That one was almost not even built, so that one's practically new. And the center is going to be a bigger grandstand, and as you can see here, a first floor point of entry, and there will be a upper level point of entry as well. And as you can see here, we still have hills to get rid of. Level all this out eventually. Yeah, see, got more hill to remove. Eventually we'll get to a point that we can just terrace it, which I'll show you a little later because everything's all relative. And this is what the stadium seating looks like from the field. So you can see we have first floor entry points because these are tall. Ultimately, you can also enter from the second floor, and from the third floor, that's the only entry point to the upper deck. So we got that. And we got the dugouts. And there are no locker rooms yet. That's going to be part of final construction. Want to get everything in place first. And this is all a skeleton. This is not the final seating. You might notice those bluish purple blocks. That was used to dictate where the actual seats, quote unquote, will go. And I think there'll be a checkerboard pattern just so you can see the individual seats. They'll rest on top of the stone exterior. That includes over here. And this is going to be a sort of like a private club. Now the limitations of Minecraft being that things would get ridiculously large if we step everything back the way a normal stadium is. Your viewpoint would be way out in the distance, or you can have everything set realistically as far back, but the height is over-exaggerated. End result is you get kind of a crappy view of the field. So there's going to be a club where you'll have tables starting right about here, and then every so many back they'll elevate a little more and elevate a little more and elevate a little more. And it's not going to be a perfect thing because of Minecraft limitations. Of course, this will be all glassed in. This is not really totally modeled after any particular ballpark. The whole idea of a glassed-in club behind home plate, is kind of borrowing from Fenway Park, and some of the exterior will sort of borrow from Yankee Stadium. Oh, the irony. Anyway, there isn't really much to show you under the bleachers, but just showing you the physical structure. And I know you can't really see much of anything, so just for the sake of showing you what's under here, we'll put this up on bright so you can see. Or not. Well, yeah, you can kind of see. Here's the underbelly of the building to make it look realistic. Of course, the heights are a little variable here. It'll be set at 64, which is right about there. Anything that's lower than that is going to be raised, apparently. And at some point, stutter. At some point, these blocks might be swapped out to fit with a theme that I have in mind. And eventually, when everything's all lit and all the amenities are put in, we will not have gangs of creepers and spiders standing in here. So that's what the first level kind of looks like. And here's the second level, a little brighter, but still monsters can spawn in here. That'll change. And of course we give it a little lateral support there just to make it all look realistic. And then we have the upper level here. This is why you see two sets of columns, one the exterior and one really close underneath everything. It's to make it look like it's supporting all of this. Then finally up here, this will be the luxury box area. Glass will be filling this trench in here, and we'll have three deep area here for people to sit back and watch the game, and maybe some of the further ones will be a little larger. And we'll have a couple of the probably right in here, the quote-unquote broadcast booths, one here and one on the other side, and the two other stair elevator towers will serve the rest for them, pretty much. So this would probably be a private one-way just for the broadcasters. So let's set that back to where it was. Set this back and there. So yeah, a lot of blasting, and I mean, the first video we did, we blasted a crap load of these hills out of the way. Wasn't even remotely close to enough. And these points of entry here, they're designed to, let's just land here, keep you from going off the stairs, but as well as, again, there'll be another 1 block height here for quote-unquote seats. But this also allows you to be able to see the whole field without any obstructions. The only obstruction that will be there, which is fairly realistic among ballparks, is the back wall that goes along the field. This is what it looks like from the cheap seats in the back. As you can see, quite a bit. And if we go over here just to wrap things up, we'll take a look at we'll take a look at an upper deck seat. Why not? Yeah, I'll just pick like here. As you can see, pretty much see the whole field. And that's going to be a slightly higher bleacher section there than those two things. And as I've sort of alluded to before, this is obviously not the completed field. I just did enough of it so I know how big everything is and where things are going to fall from there. Like where first and third was, which at that point we can easily find second because it intersects. You got the batter's boxes. It's made yellow so you could, simply for the fact that you could see it. And it looks a little funky because Minecraft works at 90-degree angles, and this is a 45-degree setup, so it looks kind of wonky. That's the way it is. And now, in order to do the pitcher's mound, the batting circles, and that arch that goes from first to third, it involves the dirty M word in Minecraft. That M word is math. I gotta do that eventually. There's no avoiding that. As well as putting a warning track at the very back. Because when this was laid out, wasn't exactly sure how I was going to put in that 45-degree angle over there quite yet. So that's another thing that needs to be addressed as well. The slight variation in color with the grass, well, that's just the way the game is. This green here is a different biome, and this slightly more brownish green is a plains biome. I think this darker green is a river biome. Not 100% sure. Hey, I'm over it right now. If I hit F3, it'll tell me. No, forest. But then when I go into the... Yeah, now I'm into the brown. It changes to plains. And what I'm looking at is the second line from the bottom of all the stuff here. See, it says plains right now. Go over, it's forest. That's just for those of you that actually watch these videos but don't play Minecraft. Or not that often. So hopefully, the idea is, another thing borrowed from Fenway, is it's going to look like it's multiple buildings. This will look like a particular building. I'm not going to say what, because I want to keep that a secret, but it is related to Real Tough and its history. And these, this third building that's going to be over here and going over that ravine, and that over there is going to be more industrial looking. And again, going to blast away this hill over here, gently terrace it off after X amount of blasting, so it's not all going to go away. Kind of like what we did here. There's, as you can see, did a terracing over here. Not quite in this section yet, because I wasn't sure how deep and how far. As you can see, more terracing here. This sets up the point where blasting and leveling will no longer happen. And it ends right here. Gonna bring it to the 64 level, which I believe is right here. Oh, not even. This is 62, 63, 63. Yeah, right about this level here. So that's what we got. Although I think I'll leave a little... I might actually increment it up a little bit, because this guy over here, he's building something and has decided to use, or is comfortable with, this land the way it is, and maybe somewhere around here she'll start bringing it up to grade. Anyway, we'll stand in this guy's territory, because when he's done building, he's got this monstrosity facing him, and it's not even the full size quite yet. So that's what we got for you, and as we end this, and I'm not used to this F5 thing whatsoever, there's the stadium, and this is George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.